On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational, this is what we call the Keeler Show.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Well, good morning. I must say, we'll plug it in this one right here, Dave. Yeah, I like that one. I got to say, it was high yesterday. It really was.
Yeah. Was the Keeler public pool open for children?
It kind of was. And it's funny, you wouldn't think that you would need, unless you're a baby like me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that you would need a heater, but it had been cool nights.
Yeah.
And then you want to once you get it warmed up.
Uh-huh.
And
you had the heater on?
Well, apparently, and I didn't realize it.
National Grid will remind you
because
next month.
the heater wasn't working. And the pool guys were going to come at some point this week, and they're like, "You're not going to have to worry about it this week." I'm like, "No." And then without even realizing, I just turned on, apparently, overnight. I went out, and I went out yesterday morning. It was like hot. Like, oh, you're not going to feel overly cool in a pool that is over 90 degrees.
Right.
So when
that's
the air is 90 degrees,
sauna,
that's like a sauna. So it'll take a while. But, a night of 70-degree weather, 71, it'll cool it right off. So.
Mm-hmm.
But it was hot and humid. And there is a story out I thought very interesting that we could start with. Tim Reed, by the way, here this morning. There is a story that I grabbed in the middle of the night that says you are not, and we talked about this with Ray Stajic yesterday, you are not imagining it. Humidity is worse and has gotten worse in the last 40 years. I'm assuming it's solar panels, windmills. Let's pay no attention to the fact that we've been spewing exhaust, especially in the major cities around the world, into the air over the course of the last 100 years. But they say in the last 40 years it has gotten worse. As for why, no, I don't think we know. But the first major heat wave of the summer has hit the Northeast. They're calling it the brutal dome. Yesterday, Syracuse recorded a temperature of 95 degrees, which was their hottest ever on record for June 23rd, apparently. I don't know how hot it got. I try to have a thermometer in a couple different places. So that when you want it in the shade, kind of, right?
Right.
So I had 94 yesterday.
In the shade?
In the shade, but I think it was 90, between 93 and 94. So we'll call it 93 in the shade. That's pretty warm, but maybe it was only 90. Still, it was a hot day. And we'll be back into the low 90s today and tomorrow.
Yep.
So they say. So they're saying humidity, you know who they are.
Yeah, who are they?
Humidity happens when water vapors in the atmosphere enter the air through the evaporation of water at the surface. When the temperatures rise in the summer months, more water evaporates than in the winter months. When it's colder, the greater amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, and there you have it, humidity. And we know it makes you feel bad because it holds the heat onto your body. But they're saying it has gotten worse in the last 40 years. The amount of water in the air holds depends on the temperature, and as air warms, its relative humidity drops. Experts contend that the climate is changing for whatever reason. Don't want to fight about it. The climate is changing, and the atmosphere is on average getting Bill Morehouse right now saying, yes, the climate is changing, but we didn't do it. It's just changing. On average, we're getting warmer, resulting in an increase in humidity. A study in 2025, February, found that over the past 40 years, humid heat waves have increased in severity, especially across the eastern U.S. I'll tell you, this time of year, we complain about the humidity, and yes, very hot. very humid. But in Myrtle Beach
yeah.
down, it just is. I mean, by the time you get to Florida, the humidity is just so bad. And you see why all the New Yorkers that go down to Florida for the summer or for the winter come home for the summer.
That's why Frederick Carrier was one of the top 100 inventions of all mankind. Air conditioning. Because you think of that whole southern area in regards to it be so inhospitable. You want to hear a story about
you couldn't well, I guess you'd have to try to deal with it, but you couldn't deal with it. Yeah.
So humans and humidity. One of the things that happened with us with evolution is that we weren't as fast as the other animals were. We didn't have claws. We didn't have any of those things. The one thing we have that animals do not have is an air conditioning system. We have the ability that our body basically wicks off heat.
Yeah.
Right? So in Africa, a lot of the tribesmen can run down animals because the animals have an inability to be able to. So what they'll do is they'll have almost like it's like a relay team.
Right.
So one person will run the animal, then he'll stop. The next one will keep running, and eventually it dies from heat. Dies from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. So now, if you're talking about when you have a lot of humidity, the problem is the system just doesn't work as well.
I have a very big struggle from running from people.
You're running.
I'm running.
Your
like
running
crazy.
ways are legend.
That is true.
In a bad way.
That is very true.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so there's your therein lies your humidity story.
Yep.
And then I had one on. Did you see that on the tornado in Clark Mills? The alert went off just 3 minutes before the tornado struck.
Wow.
Also, that the tornado path was a couple of miles, I believe, or maybe about a mile and a half. I have the exact number, which I'll pull up here. But it ripped beyond Clark Mills as well. But that's where the worst of the damage, the area where it hit houses.
So I guess my question is was the system at fault, or was it that this tornado or whatever created itself so quickly that it only gave you 3 minutes of warning?
Well, I think that there's some criticism over the fact that we had so little warning,
and then warnings in places that there was no warning needed, right?
That is a problem. Yeah, there were warnings.
That's a danger.
There were areas that received warnings that there were not. The tornado was not imminent. National Weather Service issued an alert just 4 minutes before. It's 4 minutes before the tornado slammed into Clark Mills. Take cover now. A National Weather Service tornado warning advised minutes before the storm hit. Which I think is that. I mean, saying take cover now is saying there is a tornado and it is hitting you.
Right.
So if it was able to hit those areas, that's the question. Was it able to alert those people? Because there are many others that are claiming they were in the potential tornado warning area that never received an alert at all. So now, sadly, in both cases here, these people were... I don't want to say taking cover, but they were both aware of the tornado.
Right.
In both cases, they were in their bed.
Were they on the second floor or something?
Second floor.
Yeah.
And should have retreated to the
lower area.
to the basement. The problem is if you're getting the worst of the storm and the tornado is hitting you and you're upstairs.
Right.
Your first reaction is going to be, are you going to run downstairs, or are you going to kind of hunker down where you are? And in both cases of the fatalities, it was the trees falling on the house that caused the fatalities.
Maybe it's just because it's so unusual. 2 in 2 years or whatever it is. Obviously, I don't know if that's a trend or not. But you'd almost think in places that are in like Tornado Alley that they're so used to it. And maybe the problem is because of our inexperience.
We're not
with
used
these
to
things.
it.
We're just
Yeah.
not used to these things.
Yeah, and I kind of think about that when we'd say this was a 105-mile-an-hour tornado, and you can imagine in Kansas or somewhere where they deal with tornadoes, they're like, oh, really?
They hear those alarms, those air horns.
But
and
I'm
whatever.
not sure they have the trees that we have, and these.
No,
it's
the planes.
Yeah. So, and that's it's the trees that cause the worst of the problem for us. The alert was issued at 3:54 a.m. through the wireless emergency alerts. At 3:58 a.m., the tornado formed in Clark Mills. So, it wasn't that it had touched down. They must have seen a funnel cloud that was about to touch down, and the alert went out just 4 minutes before the tornado actually touched down in Clark Mills. It barreled for over 2 miles, and winds reached up to 105 miles an hour. The Weather Service said 3 people, including 2 6-year-old twin girls, were killed, both as trees fell on homes. The Weather Service cannot pinpoint where a tornado will hit until it is imminent. According to a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, the meteorologist can only accurately predict when conditions are ripe for the formation of a tornado. That would trigger a tornado watch alert, but that level of alert does not trigger the WEA system. The problem is, I know we were in a tornado warning area and never received an alert.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the people in Clark Mills received that alert, or if some did. Some didn't.
Yeah.
And is this a problem with the system? Is this a problem with your cell phone? You really kind of wonder, right? And then one other that I wanted to throw at you here is the couple. We have an update on that couple in town of Vienna, and they were camping at a campground. I believe it was in Blossville. And they were in their camper when the winds hit and a tree came down on their camper, trapping them in the vehicle. They actually reached out to police and 911 and asked for help. Do you know this couple? They are, by the way, they've survived. 86-year-old, both 86 years old.
Wow.
They were in their camper. Barbara J. Evans of Oriskany and Patrick Evans of Oriskany are now in upstate medical in Syracuse. The incident occurred at the Landing Campground in Blossville, and both are now in stable condition.
Amazing.
So a really good ending to that. The other thing, obviously, in the news, President Trump heading to the Netherlands for a NATO summit. I know we spoke with John Decker. He is there as well.
Yep.
He'll be received following Iran bombings and a ceasefire that has been put into place between Israel and Iran. On the line right now to give us an update on everything, on all of it, is Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio. Jonathan, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
So what do we know here? There's been a lot. This has just been so much happening, but it looks like we are under a ceasefire.
It's been an extraordinary 12 hours in the Middle East, and you say it looks like we're under a ceasefire. Israel now saying it doesn't look like we're under a ceasefire. Yeah. Israel is accusing Iran of continuing to fire towards Israel. They say 2 missiles were fired. They believe Iran is trying to fire more in the next couple of hours. And an Israeli official has told Fox News Israel will have to retaliate. Tracking back a little bit, 12 hours ago or so, it appeared that Iran was carrying out its retaliation against the United States, firing on a U.S. military base in Qatar. That, of course, was massively telegraphed and choreographed almost to make sure that it didn't cause too much damage and they could draw a line under it. And then President Trump comes out and says he's agreed a ceasefire, or managed to get the two sides, Israel and Iran, to agree a ceasefire, but it could be falling apart already.
Very interesting is as they began firing at military bases yesterday, U.S. military bases, they sent a warning ahead to the United States, almost as if this was more symbolic in order to appease those within their country to say, hey, we have responded. But I have to say, in dealing with Israel, it's not like you're dealing with a weak foe here. Israel has some incredible weaponry, and I would expect their response to be pretty strong.
Yeah, incredible weaponry and powerful friends is what Israel have. And Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu coming out today and saying the last 12 days has shown that Israel now ranks in the upper tier of world powers because of the damage they've been able to do to the Iranian regime. And I think they certainly hoped that by getting the United States involved in bombing 3 of Iran's nuclear program facilities, that would finally weaken Iran to the point that they would have to capitulate and ultimately surrender. And perhaps it was seen that that ceasefire agreement last night was a part of that. However, it of course remains to be seen because Iran hasn't come out and said we're going to abandon our nuclear program forever. They haven't said what's going to happen to all their nuclear material. People fear it may simply drive the Iranian nuclear program underground, a la North Korea back in the day. And it's still a very uncertain, fragile, and dangerous time for the region.
One statement that came from Iran I thought was very interesting, and you could take many different ways. Is they said we have the right as a nation to defend ourselves and to secure and to build up our defense. Does that mean we have the right to have a nuclear weapon for defense purposes, or just to defend themselves if they're being attacked? I really was confused with that statement.
Indeed, they didn't mention nuclear in that statement.
Yeah.
However, they have not come out and repudiated their previous claim to be allowed a nuclear program. They've always said that their nuclear ambitions are purely for peaceful purposes, purely to generate power for the country. They've said that they're not looking to get a nuclear weapon. However, the world looks at Iran and says, if you're not looking to get a nuclear weapon, how come you've got so much uranium enriched to a point where it could nearly be used to make a nuclear weapon? Yeah. So I guess Iran maintaining that sort of level of ambiguity in their statement. And
one final thing, and this broadens this conversation way too much, but I'm going to at least throw it out there anyway. Through all of this and our efforts to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, we still have sitting there with real intention of, and may very well already have a nuclear weapon, and that's North Korea. Still a major problem.
North Korea certainly has multiple nuclear weapons. Absolutely, it does. And I think that the United States, Israel, the West in general, were going to make sure that Iran was not the next member of the club and did not follow North Korea's path and being able to successfully develop a nuclear missile program. The difference, of course, between the two countries is Iran always claimed that it was never going to, despite, like I said, widespread skepticism. Yeah. But if you're in South Korea, you do have that nuclear specter hanging over you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Jonathan Savage, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And be safe. Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio. Pretty amazing, right? And then, the other part of this is that the former president of Russia came out after the bombing on Saturday and said, obviously condemning the U.S. bombing of their nuclear program, and said, we will make sure that Iran is supplied with a nuclear weapon.
Okay. The man of peace.
Yes,
Putin.
yes. Yeah. It was not Putin. It was the former president of Russia.
Oh,
I think he was just blowharding. I don't know, but the reality is this is like kindling, waiting for someone to really light the match, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, you wonder where that. Apparently, there's some concern about where the enriched uranium went. I guess there were trucks that were seen pulling out a photo before the bombs hit, and there's concern that maybe it ends up in China or somewhere. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Quick break. It's Tuesday morning. We have a bunch to get to today. Later on this morning, we'll talk about, and today being primary day. Is today primary day?
I've already voted.
So many voted early. Did you vote today or early?
Early.
And there's that big battle in the town of New Hartford.
Oh, yeah.
The big town clerk battle, which to me, from what I've been gathering, and I don't know much about it, but there seems to be a lot going on in the town of New Hartford. So, and that includes today's primary, as a matter of fact.
That's different than it's all going on in Herkimer County.
That is true. It's all happening.
It's all happening.
If it's happening,
it's happening.
It seems to be happening in the town of New Hartford right now.
That's good.
And I normally don't pay attention to New York City
Anything.
politics, but or anything. I think today is worth paying attention to in New York City when it comes to the mayor's race.
It's a ranked primary, right?
Yes.
So it's the top, 2 or 3?
I believe so. So that is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
568 people running.
Bill Clinton coming out in favor of Andrew Cuomo. I don't know if you saw that yesterday.
Well, that makes sense in so many ways.
And you wonder what it does. It does.
Hands-on leaders.
It makes you wonder what does an endorsement like that really mean? Does someone wake up in the morning and say, "What?
Oh,
Bill Clinton?
I was waiting.
He said to vote for Andrew Cuomo. That's what
We're all robots.
That's what I'm going to do." Hold tight. We'll update the news at 6:38 at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. Due to the high temperatures being forecast, central New York is going to be under an extreme heat warning today. The National Weather Service says the advisory will be in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Temperatures are expected to be in the mid to high 90s with a heat index of 100 degrees or even higher in a few communities. People are reminded to stay inside when possible, understand the signs of heat stroke, and make sure to keep hydrated. The American Red Cross is also opening 2 shelters for those still without power and in need of cooling at St. Joseph's Church in Lee Center and at the Canastota VFW. Both sites are open 24/7. National Grid has restored power to roughly 90% of customers who lost it during Sunday's storms. About 2,500 workers, some of whom came from as far as Louisiana and Canada, are working around the clock to finish restoring power amid the heat wave. As of their latest update, about 7,500 customers of the over 100,000 people who lost power are still in the dark. The company expects to restore power by 11:30 tonight. National Grid said Sunday's storm broke 120 poles, which is a labor-intensive repair job. The company is distributing bottled water and dry ice at the Clark Mills Volunteer Fire Department and at 207 North James Street in Rome until 4 p.m. today. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave people or pets inside their vehicles. Authorities say heat builds up in vehicles and it can be lethal. On a 90-degree day, the interior of a car will raise to 109 degrees in 10 minutes and 124 degrees in 30 minutes. Authorities say if you see a parked car with an unattended person or pet inside, please call 911. And a study from San Diego State University says that eating 4 strawberries a day could improve your cognitive skills. Tammy Trujillo has details.
The study followed 35 men and women in their 70s and found that eating 26 grams of freeze-dried strawberry powder made from fresh berries every day for 8 weeks led to better performance on cognitive tests. Researchers said the strawberries also helped lower blood pressure and increase disease-fighting antioxidants in the blood. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Heat continuing with a heat advisory in place. One more day here of the heat. That heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Air temperatures today with the sunshine, mid-90s, heat index close to 100. Relief coming tonight, maybe a shower, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, a few showers, maybe a thunder shower in the afternoon, 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Oh, it is humid and a bit on the sunny side out there this morning. A nice hot
sunny
one
side of life.
On the way. We're currently at 72 degrees at WIBX.
They say no two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app with over 16 million subscriptions sold? Well, we thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. She's an artist and absolutely a visual learner. She's doing a deep dive into our Babbel wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is very much a type A, say it to my face, listening learner. So he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to make sure that accent.
Precio.
Keith's a real people person and a curious learner, so he loves Babbel's Culture Bites, full of insights and native knowledge about the language he's learning. Like what's served for Christmas dinner in Germany.
Glühwein, Weihnachtsgans und Christmasstollen.
Wherever you are, however you learn, Babbel is the best choice to break any language barrier. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It happens more than you think. A customer wants, needs the goods and services your business offers. No matter how hard they try, they can't find you, but they find your competitor right there at the top of the results page.
And even if they do find your website, when they click, it's like a ghost town.
Hello?
Outdated, not compelling, and perhaps worse, it has information that's not accurate.
Y2K? But how do you fix that? At Town Square Interactive, we have the tools to help you maximize your online presence. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com and start by getting a free local customer analysis.
This online tool will show you just how many customers in your area you could be reaching. To get in front of those customers, we will build a premium website for your business.
One that shows up well in web searches and converts website clicks into phone calls, appointments, and foot traffic.
It's simple, it's fast, and it's affordable. Go to mylocalcustomers.com and get started by getting your free local customer analysis today.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
It's working. It's just not working at full capacity.
Well, it may last the rest of the season, but I'm not taking a chance.
Well, you can't, can you? All right, Richard is piping in here this morning. Let's see. He's saying on the ceasefire, I see the ceasefire lasted a whole 4 hours as Iran bombed Israel again. Now Israel said it's ready to retaliate. Such BS, and people believe what the liar says. I did find it funny where...
Which liar?
He's
so many.
He is a huge Trump fan. Richard.
Good.
I did find it funny when Trump just came out yesterday and said there will be a ceasefire.
Yeah.
And
let there be a ceasefire.
And then I start getting all these text messages from people, and let me see if I can see. Ceasefire, it's official. And I just don't know that the world. See, the problem that, and you have foreign experience that I don't have, but I'm going to say this. Based on my history of living and following the news, by the time we got to the hostage crisis in 79, was it 79 and 80?
79.
Yeah, and when Reagan came in,
they released him.
It was
they
on
released
Inauguration Day.
Yeah, just to really stick it to him.
So one of the things you have to understand, I think, when dealing with, and I'm not sure, I know the military understands this. I know the intelligence of the United States, our intelligence officers understand this, but sometimes I wonder if Trump understands this. These people don't follow the same rules that we follow.
It's a bad neighborhood.
Like, we fear death.
Yeah.
They feel that death is a reward. If they die in in the name of Allah, and that's everything that they believe in, not as much Iran as Allah, then if they, I mean, these are the people that strap bombs on themselves, and not only strap the bomb on, but you have to still push the button,
right?
And they do, and they blow up. They don't go by the same rules as we do. So we punished you, we've bombed you, we've taken you to the brink. Now you will subject, and that just doesn't happen.
Right. Well, you kind of wonder if somebody wants to be, well, I did the last hit. It's almost it's childish in a way.
It is.
And it's like I said, it's a bad neighborhood. I mean, who knows that these missiles that fly could be from a rebel group. It could be from. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff around that place.
Yeah. One of the things that is interesting to see, though, is no one in the Middle East seems to be coming to the defense of Iran.
No. Well,
Iran has become. All these countries are beginning to. They're prospering and they're becoming a part of the world economy, and Iran is the enemy of that.
Right. And you've got huge religious differences there. I mean, the differences between the Sunnis and the Shias is pretty pronounced. I mean, it's probably back to the Middle Ages when the Catholics and the Protestants were trying to kill each other.
This is I forgot who I was watching yesterday, and they reminded us that this is a war that has been going on really since the beginning of time.
Oh, yeah.
So good luck.
Tale as old as time.
Good luck. So maybe the only way to maybe strength is the only way to keep any bit of security in the region. But I still fear that the bombs going off targeting our military bases that really didn't do any damage are the least of our worries.
Right.
It's our cities here at home. And you wonder if their threat is real when they say we will release our sleeper cells in the United States, and you wonder if that's true. You kind of fear it probably is.
And they're pretty strong in the cyber area too. I mean, take down the banking system.
Sunday morning we lost cell phone. I had no cell service.
You thought it was the Iranians doing it to you?
I'm like, oh my God, the Iranians have already
finally
started.
Shut down Keeler.
We had no internet. We had no. The power is next. Get the generator out.
They produced the tornado.
So that's Richard on the. So he's criticizing Trump. Now here he's criticizing me. Wrong. Tomorrow's high is 83, not 90s, and Thursday high 73. Listen, I'm just going by what Ray Stajic said, and he said high again tomorrow, 90. A lot of that will depend on when the storm hits, and we probably will get some rain to cool things off a little bit tomorrow. But, Richard, I'm just going by that. I will say the National Weather Service is saying 87 tomorrow, 94 today, and then we're looking at some off and on rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with mid-70s to upper 70s on Saturday, and then so far nice on Sunday.
Good.
82. So I'm sure, Richard, you disagree with that, but I'm just telling you, this is what Ray Stajic, meteorologist,
you should get Richard and Morehouse together. I think that really would they could work it out. That'd be like Israel and Iran.
I think they
regards to their political beliefs.
I think they would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. And then a couple of others here. I have Donna. Oh, Bill Morehouse already in. First of all, Richard hates Trump. He has TDS. That's Trump delusional syndrome, like you have, Bill Morehouse. And Bill, your TDS is coming out in full force this morning. I don't understand. We're just reporting that the ceasefire was on, and now it's off. It lasted for about 3 or 4 hours. Richard's right with that. I admit it, the greatest president you will ever see in your lifetime. I don't understand the. Where was this? Where was this for George Bush? Where was this love for even Ronald Reagan? When Ronald Reagan was alive, no one looked up to Ronald Reagan like they're looking up to Donald Trump.
Well.
Now, afterwards, Reagan became the great Ronald Reagan.
Yep.
But during that time, I guess there was battle back and forth. You had hatred and love. for Reagan. There were a
Oh,
lot
Reagan?
of Democrats.
Oh,
Democrats
there was
hated
huge
Reagan.
hatred
Yes.
for Reagan.
But there was huge love, but not like this. This is different than I've ever seen before.
This is love.
This is
love American
like,
style.
Bill Morehouse is on his knees every night, and there's a picture of Trump there, and I don't know, Bill. I don't understand. I do not understand. And then Donna this morning says her son is former military. Let's see here. And retired military believes we're being warned to try to get us to put our guard down. Then Iran will attack. What do you think about that? Possible.
Could be. Possible.
I hope after 20 years of serving in the military, he is not recalled. 100%. My son said as soon as the U.S. hit them, here we go. They are waking their sleeper cells in the United States, and that's the scary. That's the most, because that's what goes after innocent citizens. Let me bring in Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Congressional action and reaction to the ongoing situation, which is really, Ryan, fast-moving. Ceasefire on, ceasefire off, I guess is where we're at now.
Yeah, it's a lot to watch, right? You know, this is constantly changing, and of course, it's happening a lot while we're sleeping too.
Yes.
So, right now, I think the big thing you're seeing in Congress is that they're going to be possibly debating and voting on the War Powers Act, and some of these resolutions that either would return a lot of power to Congress when it comes to authorizing military force on an adversary like Iran, or simply just kind of rein in some of those powers. So we'll see where this goes. I think a lot of people view this as a tough vote for Republicans, especially those who are kind of in the America First movement.
Yeah.
Well, but the problem you have is you do have those Tucker Carlson Republicans who are who may be okay with reining in those powers. But isn't this the same argument we have, depending who's in? If it's a Democrat a Democratic president that sends the military in or uses our missile power, they get the same criticism. This is just, and it seems to go through history. It seems to go nowhere.
Of course it is, yes, and it's something that's been kind of around for a number of years. You know, the law says that the Congress has the power to declare war. The executive branch has the power to deploy troops.
Right.
So, some might argue that means that gives the president the authority to strike Iran without having to go all the way through Congress and have Congress vote on it. Now, I think a lot of Republicans will argue, too, that President Trump did get the proper, or did brief Congress on this, or at least the proper people. Speaker Johnson was looped in. Leader Thune was looped in. You can argue that there's a back and forth right now between Leader Jeffries and the Trump administration about whether he was truly looped in or not, or briefed on this. So there's a little bit of a back and forth going on with all that.
Well, and the other thing is Ryan, is now our eyes been taken totally off the big, beautiful bill. I mean, my neck is just getting jerked back and forth in this. I can't keep up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and there was a lot of updates yesterday with that. They were pretty substantial. You know, they had what's called the bird bath yesterday, where you have to go through the Senate parliamentarian and survive the Byrd rule, which says that anything you put into the One Big Beautiful Bill Act or the reconciliation process has to be budget or spending related. Well, there were a number of things in there that didn't fall under that, including defunding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That was a big revenue booster for Republicans here. Limiting the federal court's ability to enforce preliminary injunctions and temporary restraining orders against federal government. That was pretty much one of the ways in which your Republicans wanted to rein in the federal courts. I think we kind of saw that one getting pulled out, but there were a number of other things in here that might be a problem.
Again, whiplash politics. That's what we're living in. That's the world we live in right now. And it happens so fast. And as Ryan, you said, much of this is happening overnight. You go to bed with a ceasefire. You wake up without a ceasefire. So we'll continue to follow. Ryan, as always, we appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you do the same. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. I got them all coming in now. You ready?
Love.
Bill Morehouse, please play us that piece in 2016 where you said Trump will never be president and then started laughing. Well, Bill, he's president for a second time. I don't necessarily remember that, but I can tell you this: I didn't think he would be president. A lot of people didn't think he would be president, but those people, including myself, don't think that anymore, right?
Right.
He's president, Mr. Morehouse. As you go back to praying to your picture, and Rob, and you can thank Biden's wide open border over the last 4 years for being responsible for any sleeper cells. 1,500 Iranian nationals led in the country during dementia Biden's term, says Rob this morning. So there's a lot of push. There's a lot of talking going on out there, but there ain't no ceasefire. And I really wonder where all of this is going. The one thing I think we can be thankful for is that Israel is dealing with this, and we don't necessarily have to right now. Quick break. We'll come back at WIBX.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
At the Naimi Auto Group, we believe in honest pricing, quality car care, and a team that treats you with respect, no matter what you drive. Here in Boonville, we like things we can count on: wide roads, bigger trucks, and people you can trust. At Matt Naimi GMC, we share your values: integrity, compassion, and the satisfaction of a hard day's work. Whether it's service or sales, when you drive off our lot, you're not just a customer, you're a part of the family. Matt Naimi GMC, Den Kelly Chevy GMC, Naimi's New Generation Cars, 3 hometown stores, one name you can trust.
If you're experiencing discomfort in your knees, hips, or back, it may stem from foot issues. The Good Feet Store is here to help with their team of arch support specialists. Their comprehensive solution includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers, a 3-step system of arch supports that work together to improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet. Get back to being pain-free with the Good Feet Store at their new Hartford location on
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Both sides violated the ceasefire. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump just said that, adding he's unhappy with Iran and really unhappy with Israel with its vow to retaliate to Iranian missile launches. The president just told reporters moments ago Israel should not drop its bombs. Bring your pilots home.
The Iranian political echelon is denying that they had anything to do with this violation of the ceasefire. But just when the ceasefire was about 4 hours old, the IDF now says it was 2 missiles that flew into the north of Israel, both of them intercepted.
Fox's Mike Tobin and Beersheba were just before the ceasefire went into effect. An Iranian missile hit, killing at least 4 Israelis.
In recent minutes, we have seen the volunteers from Zaka combing through the rubble, trying to gather the remains of people who may be inside of the rubble. The Zaka volunteers are the people with the grim task of putting people back together for a proper Jewish burial.
President Trump also told reporters after Israeli and U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities that Iran will never rebuild that program, feared to be making weapons. Now, that could be a big topic at the NATO summit in the Netherlands. The president is about to fly there.
NATO's leaders will dine with the Dutch king and queen this evening, but Ukraine is looking for scraps from the table. Whereas the Russian invasion dominated previous summits, this year it's much lower down the agenda. President Zelensky gets a meeting with the alliance's Secretary General today. Mark Rutte announced yesterday that European countries had pledged $35 billion to Ukraine's defence this year, up from $20 billion.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage in The Hague. The Supreme Court gives the Trump administration a win in the push to deport more illegal immigrants, lifting a lower court order blocking migrants being sent to countries they're not from.
Attorneys representing migrants from places like Vietnam and Burma challenged those deportations to a third-party country. A source with knowledge of the situation told Fox News the original flight was sent to Djibouti.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Well, that Iran-Israel conflict is an issue that keeps resonating ahead of the ceasefire agreement. Attorney General Pam Bondi testified at a House hearing.
Many Democrats were focused on the proposed cuts to the DOJ budget, including to things like the ATF. But Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas was worried about cuts to cyber and national security branches within the DOJ, especially after we struck Iranian nuclear facilities.
I don't want us looking back and going, what if? I want us to, as much as we can, get ahead of it, to give you the resources you need to go out and make sure that we're preventing things from happening.
He asked about the number of Iranian illegal aliens that have been let into the country during the Biden administration.
Well over 1,000 have entered our country, and I can tell you we are on high alert.
Attorney General Bondi said she could not disclose how many Iranian sleeper cells are in the U.S., nor how many active investigations they have into threats to the homeland. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Later this morning, the Federal Reserve Chairman will testify about the economy at a House hearing after President Trump took another swipe at Jerome Powell on Truth Social early this morning, calling him very dumb and hard-headed as the president keeps pushing for a big interest rate cut. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising up nearly 300 points for the Dow after the Dow surged up 374 yesterday. There's a parade in Oklahoma City this morning to celebrate the Thunder winning the NBA championship, beating Indiana in Game 7. And the Pacers lost more than that game.
Indiana star Tyrese Halliburton has a torn right Achilles tendon, which means he could miss all of next season, though the team did not provide a recovery timeline. Halliburton suffered the injury with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter of Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Halliburton had been playing through a calf strain after going on an epic run during the postseason. The star guard hit a tying or game-winning shot in the final seconds of all 4 rounds, the first player to do so in a single playoffs.
That's Joe Morgan. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. 73 degrees under sunny skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. Folks in central New York are going to have to deal with yet another day of very hot temperatures. The National Weather Service says an extreme heat warning remains in place until 8 p.m. this evening. Yesterday, Syracuse hit a high of 94 degrees, breaking the old record of 92 degrees set in 1975. Temperatures are expected to reach similar levels today, and the heat index will make it feel even hotter. Cooling centers are set up in several communities, and the latest forecast can be found at NOAA.gov. National Grid has restored power to roughly 90% of customers who lost it during Sunday's storms. Around 2,500 workers, some of whom have come as far as Louisiana and Canada, are working around the clock to finish restoring power amid this heat wave. As of the latest update, about 7,500 customers out of the over 100,000 who lost power are still in the dark. The company expects to restore power by 11:30 tonight. National Grid said Sunday's storm broke 120 poles, and that's a labor-intensive repair job. The company is distributing bottled water and dry ice at 2 locations today, Clark Mills Volunteer Fire Department and 207 North James Street in Rome until 4 o'clock today. A Utica man was arrested on attempted robbery charges. According to Utica police, officers conducting hotspot enforcement around Oneida Square witnessed 2 men in an argument. One man was on foot and another was on a bicycle. During the heated exchange, officers said the man on foot produced a box cutter and began threatening the man off of his bicycle. Authorities intervened and the victim claimed the suspect demanded money. Police arrested 32-year-old Rondale Jones and said they found a glass pipe with cocaine residue on it. Jones was charged with first-degree attempted robbery as well as weapons and drug charges. And oil prices are jumping following the U.S. airstrike on Iran. U.S. crude oil went up more than 2% Sunday evening to $75.60 per barrel. This comes as there is uncertainty regarding the oil supply outlook in the Middle East. Iranian state media reported earlier Sunday that the country's parliament supported closing the Strait of Hormuz. According to the Energy Information Administration, 20% of all crude oil consumed by the world passes through the strait, and they did so last year. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500, and NASDAQ futures have all been down. Your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Heat continuing with a heat advisory in place. One more day here of the heat. That heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Air temperatures today with the sunshine, mid-90s, heat index close to 100. Relief coming tonight, maybe a shower, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, a few showers, maybe a thunder shower in the afternoon, 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
73 degrees under sunny skies. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 local sports desk. The Pacers confirmed their worst-case scenario on Monday. An MRI revealed that star Tyrese Halliburton sustained a torn right Achilles tendon during Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The team did not announce a timeline for his return, but it's likely that he will miss the entire 2025-2026 season. The 25-year-old suffered a calf strain in Game 5, but insisted on playing through his injury. The first round of the NBA draft begins tomorrow night in Brooklyn. The Nets currently have the 8th, 19th, 26th, 27th, and 36th overall picks. The Knicks have the 50th overall pick, but nothing in the first round. The Mets dropped their series opener against the Braves. They fell 3-2 in Queens. Paul Blackburn suffered the loss after allowing 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks. New York has lost 2 in a row. They hope to bounce back when it continues its 4-game set against Atlanta tonight. The Yankees, topped by the Reds 6-1 in their series opener from Cincinnati. Alan Winans was charged with the loss after allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. New York still leads the AL East. They continue its 3-game series against the Reds tonight. The owner of the Jets is diversifying his portfolio. Woody Johnson has agreed to buy a 43% stake in the Premier League team Crystal Palace. The deal is worth $254 million and will have to receive approval from the Premier League by passing the fit and proper persons test. Johnson attempted to purchase Chelsea in the past, but he failed to do so. And American Airlines is making it easier for Syracuse University football fans to see their team on the road this season. American has added nonstop flights from Syracuse Hancock International Airport to South Bend, Indiana. The Orange are taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Notre Dame Stadium November 22nd, which is only a few days before Thanksgiving. Flights will go on sale this Sunday, and they can be purchased through the airline's website. Your WIBX News Time, 7:10, 73 degrees under sunny skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
So tomorrow night at Babes, you're welcome to come by. If you think you can sing the national anthem. If you'd like to sing the national anthem at the Boilermaker post-race party. We'll be there at 6, and it's at Babes. And are you an amazing singer? Do you think you could be the one this year who sings in front of 40,000 people, Tim?
No.
No, not you. But we'll be there tomorrow night at Babes. And I don't know if you saw the controversy from Sunday. Kristen Chenoweth's performance of the national anthem before Game 7 in Oklahoma City. She did it a cappella, perfectly on key, but it was her operatic part that on the word free that people kind of feel she went a little too far. And I'm going to try to cue this up so we can get it and you be the judge. Here she is.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming?
I mean, she's very good.
Yeah, but I mean, this
She's
is going
very
on
good.
so long. It's longer than the first quarter of a game.
It is true. Let's see if I can get us to the point.
Where she hits the high notes.
Yes, this is where they're criticizing on the word. Did you hear it, Davey? Are you thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
You liked it. Turn your mic on. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job.
Okay, well,
I don't know why they're criticizing her
Here's
for
where
it.
they're criticizing. They're saying it's a little too operatic, opera style at the word free. Here we go.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. No.
I had to turn it down. I thought she was going to break the glass on my neon clock over there. I was getting a little nervous.
No, that's
okay.
You know. Now you're making it all about yourself.
That is exactly how I feel. All of the anthem. If you're going to sing the national anthem, it's about paying tribute to your nation.
Not to
By
yourself.
the way, it's on Sunday. It's after our military is on high alert. After the bombing in Iran and all of this stuff going on around the world, if there's ever a time, it should be about the song. It should be about the salute to the nation. And there she's going, basically saying, look how high I can sing. Check this out.
I
Look
agree.
at me. You better have a plastic cup, because if you don't, I'm going to break your glass. So right up to that point, Davey, I'm with you. But listen, you're going to be a part of the brick ceremony tonight, right? You get a brick in the Boilermaker Park. Is that what it's called? The Boilermaker Park?
I'll be there. See Davey.
Tim is going to be there, Davey.
Yes.
I'm not there for you. I'm there for you, Davey, but I'm not necessarily there for you, Davey.
When I received my brick, I have to say
They threw it at you.
They threw it at me.
They didn't put it in the ground.
They actually tied it around my ankles, and they said the park is at the canal, right? No, if you remember, they put the wrong date on it, so I ended up getting I have a brick at home.
What was it? The 12th of never?
It was the year. It was the year before the date that went on. So I ended up getting I have a brick at home. Because
nice.
there was an extra one. It was kind of cool. It's the wrong date.
I'm going to go admire.
I'll be there tonight.
Yes. I'll admire your brick tonight.
I want you to know I go there with rubbing alcohol and I clean it off, and it's the only clean one there.
From the spit people.
That's right. I had to wipe off the spit.
Yeah. Morehouse and
that's Bill Morehouse spit.
Morehouse and
Richard and Rob and Lance and Lee.
Yeah.
And
you sound like Miss Merrily at the end when she was reading off the birthdays. Oh, and there's
right.
Lance and there's.
If you're looking into the little magnifying glass, romper room.
I was all excited when I'd hear my name.
So what do you got to do? Just lay the brick in. They already have it mounted for you, and then you just got to place it in there.
You get a chance to put it in yourself if you want to.
You got more. You got the mortar. You got to bring your own mortar. Yeah.
That tool.
Oh, okay.
Call up Brank. They'll give you all the tools. Brank Construction. They'll give you all the tools you need.
Tell them Bill Keeler sent you.
The national anthem contest is tomorrow night at Babes. If you think you have what it takes to sing the national anthem at the post-race party, the flyover will happen if there is a flyover. But I have a feeling it looks looks a little good this year. I have a feeling, just a hunch.
Hopefully they're not
Should
busy.
I bring some Sharpies with me so I can sign my autographs?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. It was looking pretty good, but who knows right now with everything going on in the world. Yes, bring your Sharpies, Davey. The Anthem contest tomorrow night at Babes, and we hope to see you there. And we'll be selecting several because there are several events that need the national anthem. So tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at Babes, we hope to see you there, even if you just want to come and admire those who are singing.
Yeah.
And have a little appetizer and a drink and enjoy the atmosphere there at Babes.
I hope they don't have the lady from Sunday. I don't want to hear that.
I have.
Again.
Yes, Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah,
She's
nice.
a Broadway star.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I have Dr. Hall coming up in a second, and I have what I think is breaking news on the cancer front. And it's a big warning regarding, and this is not coming from Robert Kennedy Jr. It is a big warning on something you might be consuming. In fact, I was being yelled at by my daughter about this.
Uh-oh.
I'll speak with Dr. Hall on it coming right up at WIBX.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/radio. That's leaffilter.com/radio.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
On Tuesday's Guy Benson Show from New York City, more fallout from the weekend attacks against Iran and Iranian reprisals. Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana will join us, as will U.S. Senator Dave McCormick of Pennsylvania. Martha McCallum, our Fox News colleague, also joins us here in studio. It's a very jam-packed, news-heavy edition of the Guy Benson Show coming up.
Guy Benson, airing at 7, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Sorry.
I like this new bumper.
I like it too. This is
Happy.
Hey Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Good God. Joe, no, it is not diet soda. Although
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I think he's throwing a little shade at you.
I can't imagine diet soda is necessarily good for me.
Yeah.
However, I have one a day and maybe two, and for the most part.
Octo shot.
People of all ages, that is also, I think, good for you. Coffee. People of all espresso. People of all ages experience any level of discomfort in knees, hips, and back stemming from feet. Your feet. The trusted team at the Good Feet Store. This is a great addition to New Hartford and the Mohawk Valley. Arch support specialists help you in your journey to alleviate pain. It's very possible that the pain you're receiving in your back, your shoulders, even your neck, you're a pain in my neck. And it could be caused by the way you're walking. And the first thing that happens when you walk into the Good Feet Store is they give you a free fitting and a test walk. And they'll show you right where your arch is all screwed up. And chances are it is.
Yeah.
And that's where they come in with their 3-step system. These are inserts they put into your shoes, strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. 3 categories of arch supports with varying levels of strengthening, allowing you to maintain proper foot alignment through exercise. And you're not exercising. You're just doing your daily whatever it is that you do.
Right.
It could be sitting there at a computer and you're still wearing that insert, and it's still doing the work for you. And that's the important part. It's really spectacular, I believe, as I have them as well.
Yeah.
It's located on Commercial Drive in New Hartford, 4630. You can walk right in, no appointment needed, or call 315-999-3910 for the Good Feet Store. And then if you're in need, Davey, of having a brick laid somewhere, Brank Construction can help when it comes to any masonry work, foundation repair, a brick walkway, maybe at a Boilermaker Park tonight. Stairway, cellarway entrances, basement floors, garage floors. Brank has you covered. Maybe it's a beautiful entryway into your backyard. Ours was on a little bit of a hill, so they built this incredible natural stone retaining wall and stairway that went into our backyard. It was just spectacular. And if you call Brank and say, I'd love to see a picture of that, and then I can almost say you're going to say, I want that. Because it used to be just like when we moved in there, it was like a little hill, a path.
Right.
And you go uphill into your backyard, and it was muddy, and they just eliminated the whole problem. Call 315-894-3481 for Brank Construction. Did I mention the National Anthem contest is tomorrow night at Babes?
Many times.
I did, sorry. We'll be there tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I have a busy week. I found that since COVID, my wife believes that I have formed some sort of a mental
your
problem.
acuities?
No,
Weak?
I don't want to do things.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
Yeah, I don't want.
That is
it's
a
like,
real thing.
oh, let's go do this. A lot of people there. I don't think we'll do that.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
I think it really did
It's
create a lot
it's
of
a post-COVID thing.
anti-social behavior.
Let's go out to dinner. Let's call and have it brought to us.
Exactly. And sit and watch streaming something.
Why don't you do the dishes? I don't know. There's a lot of dishes there.
That's why God created paper plates.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. On the line right now, Dr. Kent Hall. Is there anything to be said for it? Is it real? And what I feel like this is we're still, many people are still in that mode where they're trying to get back to the place where they were okay with going out and being around people.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that there is a tendency for people to be more. I wouldn't necessarily call it reclusive, but say less energetic with going out. I don't know. I mean, yes, it's COVID and what we went through over the last 5 years, but I think, there's just an evolution too. I mean, our culture has shifted a fair amount in the last decade or so. So, it's hard to pin it on any one thing, but your basic premise, I think, is correct in that, people are less interested in going out and, to to your point, why go out to dinner when we can call and somebody can bring it in?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there have been so many changes. It's hard to find employees.
Right.
Your bars and restaurants
Close way
earlier. And it's just, it is a different world now, and I don't necessarily completely understand it. Okay, are you ready, Doc? By the way, we released a new Real Men Get Tested commercial for Father's Day, and the theme is for the month of June, to really get out there and get tested, follow your doctor's recommendations, and plan to be here next year.
Yep.
I think that's a big deal.
That is excellent, and again, I absolutely applaud what you and the group is doing in terms of getting out there, because I can tell you from almost half a century in medicine, men are the least interested in their own health. They, when I was in the emergency department and, I would walk into a room and there was a man that was lying on the gurney and there was a woman in the chair in the corner, I would introduce myself to the man, and then I turned to the woman and said, "Why is he here?" Because I would get much more information from her than I would from him.
And I'm the opposite of that. I have to say, I am. Well, listen, as for procrastination, I had symptoms I was dealing with, and I just thought, I don't want to go because I don't want the news. I don't want them to tell me something bad. So I didn't go. Right. And it went on for a couple of years, to the point where between my wife and Tim pushing for me to go and finally get a colonoscopy. And that's when the news came back. That was very, very difficult news.
Right.
The news you never want to hear, right? The cancer word. Nonetheless, when it comes, though, to explaining to the doctor what's going on once I'm there, that's a different story, because you can't shut me up. I'm giving them recommendations. That could be this. Have you thought about this?
Yeah. Yeah. He appreciates your work with Dr. Google.
That's right. I've never realized, but my doctor, Dr. Garg, wears earplugs when I come in. I don't know why.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. Here's a cancer alert. Are you ready? And I want your take on this, Doc. A recent study in Nature magazine has found that synthetic taurine, Taurine, or Taurine. Are you familiar with that? Taurine?
Yeah.
Widely used in energy drinks like Red Bull, Monster, Celsius, etc., may accelerate the growth of leukemia cells. Researchers say high doses can enhance cancer cell metabolism by boosting glycolysis, the body's sugar breakdown process. And taurine is naturally found in meat and fish, but it's the synthetic form that you find in these drinks. Experts urge caution, especially for those at risk of leukemia. Energy drink makers have not yet responded to this. What are your thoughts, Doc?
Yeah. So, first of all, I would say that this is, at best preliminary. So it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody should, throw their energy drinks away.
Right.
I would also say that, there's a difference between an association and a causation. So, the whole concept of taurine in high levels, stimulating glycolysis and, metabolism, and specifically in cancer cells, is a theory. But, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to make it to actually go from, yes, we understand what the mechanism could be, to this actually happens inside of human cells. That being said, I think that, moderation in all things
too much
is
of anything.
better than excess of anything. So, if you're living, your life pounding down these high energy drinks, I would suggest that maybe you should modify that behavior. And this may be a reason to. This may actually be a causal reason to, but it's not. It isn't proven by any stretch.
Yeah.
So I would not want people to say, oh my gosh, I just need to change, or what I've done to my body in the past I've done myself damage. We just don't know that.
Yeah. There's so much out there, right? I mean, Tim was just mentioning that RFK Jr. is trying to get rid of fluoride in water, because you know what, we all love the British, and it'd be great if we could all have teeth like they have. But the fear is that in any case, too much fluoride is a problem. What are your thoughts on the fluoride issue?
Yeah, so fluoride has been around for a long time. We put it into water because of dental related issues. I think it was in the 40s or 50s, and there has not been a substantive increase in anything, in any disease related to fluoride per se. Our current HHS secretary is concerned about what fluoride may do to developing brains. And so that's where his focus seems to be. I can tell you that from a cancer standpoint, fluoride has been studied as it relates to, does it cause cancer or does it increase the likelihood of cancer? And all of the studies have basically not found any kind of an association related to that. And whether it may cause in some people some neurologic changes is open for debate, although the vast majority of studies would indicate that also is not true.
Doc, and I'm of an age in regards to it, I recall when I was a kid that they actually gave us fluoride treatments in school.
You don't have to go back that far.
Didn't they do that?
I had it. Yeah, I had it. I'm so that would have been in the early 70s.
Stuff like
It was a gel that they put on, and you'd have to bite on it, and or then there was the tablets that you had that all of a sudden your teeth, everything turned pinkish color, if you recall.
Wow. Yep.
Do you remember any of this stuff, Tom?
Right. Yeah, no, yes, I do, and that was all because it is very well documented that adding fluoride does really improve the strength of enamel in your teeth, and it does significantly decrease tooth decay. Which does not mean that you should go and eat a fluoride tablet and then go and eat a whole bunch of candy because now I'm protected. Those are two different things. But it does definitely protect or strengthen tooth enamel.
Did you see? I saw a thing on. Again, I worry when I see these things on YouTube and not on regular TV. Although the stuff on regular TV makes me worry as well. Yeah. But apparently, there's this device that you can put, and you bite onto it, and it's almost like you're putting, almost like the mouthpiece that you'd put into your mouth playing football. Right?
Like an Invisalign or something?
Well, it's, like you'd bite down on it and you'd have to heat it up, bite down on it, and now but it's kind of like a thing you bite down on and it covers all of your teeth, both sides, and then you turn it on and 30 seconds later it has brushed your teeth for you and cleaned everything. And it says, stop brushing your teeth the old-fashioned way. The way to do it is this way. Have you seen that? And what do you think?
So so you've stumped me on this one. This is one that I have
seen on TV.
One that I have not seen.
You got to watch more YouTube.
But
yeah, it's all there.
Maybe I do.
I was scared you were going to say you were doing it to bite into a Tide Pod.
Yeah, I haven't done that trick yet. So, all right, Doc. So the reality would be if you drink too much of anything, if you eat too much of anything. Yep. If you, overconsumption is usually where the problem comes into play.
That's absolutely true, and our epidemic of obesity in this country, I think, exactly falls in line with that concept. So yes, our bodies over the millennia that we have existed, were developed and evolved, based on how we lived and, as hunter-gatherers and things like that, and, food scarcity over a very long period of time, and we don't evolve quickly, but our ability to get food and the types of food that we can get has changed very quickly, and that is the number one cause for the epidemic of obesity that we have in this country.
Okay. Oh, time's up. Time's up, Doc. We don't want to go over. Otherwise, I have to get an extra copay from you.
I thought a baby had just been born.
Yeah, all right. Good stuff. Dr.
Angel got wings.
Kent Hall, thank you so much, as always.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Please, please, please be careful with this heat out there, and please be safe.
You do the same. Thank you. It's going to be another 93, 94-degree day today, as a matter of fact. This comes from John. Fluoride treatment in schools? I think I found the basis of your liberal indoctrinations.
Oh.
That's where it all came from. Boom.
So what? The conservative people didn't get it?
Apparently not. Apparently not. This is from Tom. There is actually a today is primary day, by the way. Get out there and vote if you haven't already. There is actually a conservative primary today in North Utica for county legislator. Tony Leone versus Mike Gentile. I really don't understand why Mike Gentile is running when he is chief of staff for Mike Galimi. There could be potential conflicts of interest if he is elected.
Interesting.
That is very interesting. And in Rome,
Yay.
Governor Hot Mess is giving you...
I love her down the middle calls.
Is giving illegals $50 million for legal fees while people in our area need financial help to recover from the recent tornado. Governor Hot Mess. And I guess that's all I have, although I do have one more that I wanted to squeeze in here. See if I can find it. And this comes off the WIBX 950 app. There's a few here. John in Deerfield, does Dr. Hall know what his plan is for the other hospital, Faxton, for Wynn opening? Dr. Hall is retired, and that's not even
right.
And this
it's going to stay the way it is, just oncology.
Faxton is a number one. It's where the Utica Cancer Center is.
Yep.
And that's where all your specialty offices are. So that remains. That will remain the same. My mother had physical therapy at Faxton a few times, and the AC has been down for a few weeks.
Oof.
Oh, boy. I don't know anything about that. Trump said there was this is Sue in Utica. Trump said there was a ceasefire, but neither country could confirm that was true when he reported it. He thinks because he wants it, it is going to happen.
You're just stirring stuff up.
Sue in Utica. And then I do have to say that news this morning, President Trump on social media, Truth Social, do not drop those bombs. A furious President Trump warns Israel. He is accusing them on social media this morning of both sides of violating his ceasefire. Do you think, Tim Reed, that
don't drag me in.
That Israel and Iran will listen to President Trump?
All must listen to President
Everyone
Trump.
must. Okay. All right.
That's what I say.
And the world would be a better place.
Yes.
For God's sakes. All right. I do have to break, and we're going to do Habaika's free money question of the day. We'll do news
Davey,
first.
He's in a miserable
Davey,
mood.
Listen, what in the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me.
You are in such a bad mood today.
Yeah. No,
you're moping, you're doping. Oh, you're not doping, I'm sorry. You're moping. Sometimes rhymes don't work.
I don't dope, and I never will.
You're moping,
Good
though.
man.
You do mope. What's wrong?
Yeah, it's because of the TV.
You got a huge, huge, huge thing tonight where you're getting a brick.
Yeah.
On the walkway of the Boilermaker.
I'm
the park.
excited for that.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like today, you know.
All right, well, listen, we do have a free money question from Habaika.
Is the president going to agree with me with the amount? Is he going to go on Truth Social and say, maybe
Well,
he did that the
well,
wrong amount?
He might.
Well,
He might.
What's the amount?
$250.
Whoa, you're jumping today. $250.
He cut you off at the pass because he was going to say 200, and you always add that 50.
I do add a little 50 in there. So 200.
Like he did yesterday, I said 100, and he said 150.
$250 on the line. Dollars on the line today for Habaika's free money question, which we will do coming up after news on WIBX. Listen, lead-free Utica, lead-safe Utica. It is a major problem. We can debate over fluoride in water.
Don't debate about lead.
We cannot debate over lead in water. There is no debating here. Even lead in the air because the paint chips are chipping away. Lead that end up on a child's hand, and then because of a windowsill, and then they put their hands in there. This is a major, major problem. And children should be tested at ages 1 and 2 for lead poisoning. It can harm a child's brain, nervous system, speech, hearing, learning, and behavior. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider today. And for details, you can go to leadfreemv.org. Now, if you're a renter or a homeowner or maybe a landlord, there's help out there to make sure your property is lead safe. And it is a problem in Utica. A lot of old homes that have not been updated. So go to leadfreemv.org, and there's up to $30,000 per unit in lead hazard reduction funding available for Utica. Lead Safe Utica program. Go to leadfreemv.org for details.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. Due to the high temperatures being forecast, central New York is going to be under an extreme heat warning today. The National Weather Service says the advisory will be in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Temperatures are expected to be in the mid to high 90s with a heat index of 100 degrees or even higher in a few communities. People are reminded to stay inside when possible, understand the signs of heat stroke, and make sure to keep hydrated. The American Red Cross is also opening 2 shelters for those still without power and in need of cooling at St. Joseph's Church in Lee Center and at the Canastota VFW. Both sites are open 24/7. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave people or pets inside their vehicles. Authorities say heat builds up in vehicles and it can be lethal. On a 90-degree day, the interior of a car will raise to 109 degrees in 10 minutes and 124 degrees in 30 minutes. Authorities say if you see a parked car with an unattended person or pet inside, please call 911. National Grid has restored power to roughly 90% of customers who lost it during Sunday's storms. About 2,500 workers, some of whom came from as far as Louisiana and Canada, are working around the clock to finish restoring power amid the heat wave. As of their latest update, about 7,500 customers of the over 100,000 people who lost power are still in the dark. The company expects to restore power by 11:30 tonight. National Grid said Sunday storm broke 120 poles, which is a labor-intensive repair job. The company is distributing bottled water and dry ice at the Clark Mills Volunteer Fire Department and at 207 North James Street in Rome until 4 p.m. today. And Columbia University graduate and pro-Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil says he will not be silenced. Khalil arrived in New Jersey Saturday, one day after being released from a detention center in Louisiana by order of a federal judge. He spoke to reporters at Newark International Airport and said the Trump administration is going after anyone whose views are different from those of the president. Khalil helped organize pro-Palestinian protests on the Columbia University campus and arrested by ICE agents in New York City last March. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Heat continuing with a heat advisory in place. One more day here of the heat. That heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Air temperatures today with the sunshine, mid-90s, heat index close to 100. Relief coming tonight, maybe a shower, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, a few showers, maybe a thunder shower in the afternoon, 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
That's Ray Stajic saying
That's how it
90,
works.
90 tomorrow.
Yeah.
We are already at 76 degrees here with sunshine. Time for Hobica's free money question of the day. And Davey has already told us it's worth $250. We're running a little late here this morning. It's already 7:47. What caller number are you looking for here, Davey? Let's get a contestant.
Stay on time.
I'm going to try. I will.
Because I'm telling you, I'm executive producer.
Yep.
You are.
Stay on time.
Yes.
He's throwing his weight around.
He is
now.
throwing that weight around.
You know, how quickly
You better be
power
careful.
gets to people's
I'm gonna
brains.
throw that brick through your window tonight. You piece of...
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What caller number are you looking for, executive producer?
I don't know. Caller 5.
Fifth caller.
Oh.
He's in a mood.
What's wrong?
I don't
Gee
know.
whiz.
I don't know. Fifth caller right now, 315-736-0186. Right now at WIBX.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there is one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
Why do we say we bring the fun to your backyard? Because at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, that's exactly what we aim to do. And a fiberglass pool can bring years and years of backyard fun. A fiberglass pool from Tucker Backyard is more affordable now than ever. Plus, with durability, low maintenance, and of course, beauty, it's the perfect fit for your backyard. Come visit our unique indoor showroom, including 3 fully functional pools, giving you a full hands-on experience. Or try our new interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save. With Tucker Backyard service and knowledge, now is the time to stop by and learn more about putting the pool of your dreams in your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com. Visit Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Did I mention tomorrow night we're going to be at Babe's?
Yes.
I love a good party where a lot of people mingling around.
Yeah.
Socializing. That's tomorrow night at Babes, 6 p.m. And they always put on, I got to tell you.
Stone does a good job.
Jeff does a great job over there, and it's a great go-to. Babes. Always open. You can always count on it. And great bar area, great dining room area, and a great national anthem singing area.
Absolutely.
If you'd like to sing the national anthem at the Boilermaker post-race party or any of the Boilermaker events, come
there's many.
Tomorrow night, and there are many, right?
Yes,
that
many
you can
events.
sing to, Davey.
Babes was actually my go-to place for Sunday when I had no power for me to go have a meal or something because we hadn't had no power. We didn't get it until after 6 o'clock on Sunday.
A lot of people were coming here at the studio. We had people sleeping here. Because
the shelter?
Because they had no power and no air conditioning. It got so hot.
That's a good way to bring in employees.
Yeah. I always will stop by here, do a little work, and I plug my car in and juice up the battery. They don't know. They have no idea I'm doing it. There's an outlet right out there.
Well, now they know.
Well, that's true.
You're going to be called in.
They don't listen. Okay, here's the Hobica Law Firm free money question of the day. It's worth $250. $250 from the Hobica Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobica, 315-724-1600 is the number. Joseph and Andrew Hobica. This is Joseph from Utica. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
How you doing? Can I call you Joe or Joseph? You wanted for me.
Whatever you like, fine.
All right.
He just wants to be called Winner.
Don't
That's what he wants.
Don't call me late for dinner. Isn't that the old line? All right, Joseph. If you've been following along in the news, you would have seen this several times, and it is something that has become a bit of a controversy because some got it and some didn't. And therefore, it has been in the news. If you've read the news story, you will know the answer to this. And I hope you have. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, here is your question. When you get a loud alert on your phone because of an imminent emergency, like a tornado, this service on your cellular phone is called what? Ready, go.
The emergency notice?
Emergency notice is not it. It used to be what did it used to be called? It was
Wasn't it the EMS?
Emergency Broadcast Alert. What did it used to be called? Was it EMS? No. EAS.
EAS
is what it was called. This on your phone is called, and what some people got and some people didn't, WEA, the Wireless Emergency Alert. Wireless Emergency Alert. You said emergency alert.
He was close.
That was pretty darn
Two-thirds.
close. Wireless Emergency Alert was the correct answer. So.
All right.
All right. Well, that blows. It's $250. We would love to see that come out of the pocket of Hobica.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's good at the Comets games. It's good at their gift shop. It's good at 72, the Nexus, Taylor and the Cook, Cookies, Babes, Aquavino, and the list goes on. Stand by. Davey's going to hook you up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Joseph. Yeah. Don't go anywhere. Stand by. It is nice that is available at so many different places.
Correct.
Versus
one spot.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
maybe it's something you don't like.
And Davey, we have people at the back door. If you can take care of that when you get a second. Yes, no job is too big or too small for the executive producer.
Hey, he does it all.
He does it all. Our man, Davey.
Call him Does It All Davey.
Okay. I have a few stories that I want to get into. Did you see the video that is circulating online showing a road buckling under the heat in Missouri?
No.
Missouri.
That
caused a car to go airborne. I saw the video of this. It's unbelievable. The car couldn't slow down because it happened just as they were driving over it. The road just buckled, And this is what it sounded like. The first snap sound is the road buckling. The second sound is the car crashing after it went airborne. Listen to this. Well, that was not all that exciting.
What was that? Was it on a dash cam or something like that?
That was awful.
Yeah.
That was on a dash cam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is good.
That didn't do much.
I mean, I'd like to know what producer was like, you know what, we got to put this clip in, make sure they get this clip. This is a big one. I would have faked it a little bit, added a little more to it. So your first sound is it hits the buckling part of the road. You need video to make this work. The second sound is when it actually comes down. None of this is all that impressive. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. A new study found that too many nightmares can kill you. People who average at least one nightmare a week, that's me, are at least one nightmare a week are 3 times more likely to die before they hit the age of 70.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So I will get,
night terrors?
The key is, for me, there is an element in my brain that isn't comatose. You have when you fall asleep and you go into a deep sleep, there is something that basically freezes your body, and it's like you're in a coma.
Yes.
As you're sleeping, and your muscles you may feel like you're moving, but you're not moving.
Right.
Where people who have whatever condition that they can't seem to figure out that I have, is you don't have that mechanism in your body that freezes your body.
Yes.
Okay, you don't go limp. You begin to act crap out.
Right.
And that's when you get up. You know what I was wondering on this? I shouldn't get into it.
Go down a bad path.
Only it's a rabbit hole thing. So let's not.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, people on average, at least one nightmare a week, are 3 times more likely to die by the time they hit 70.
Do you hit that? Do you get that?
Oh, easily one a week.
Oof.
Sometimes.
Have you got your affairs in order?
But I've done a few things that make it that I think have lessened. At least I believe I'm not getting the complaints from my wife like I used to. Here's a little audio, by the way, on the nightmare thing.
Thank God it's finally over. Of course, there will always be the nightmares.
Okay.
Is that you, Dave? Is that you, or who is that talking?
I think that's King of the Hill, to be honest with you. Davey, I'm going to the top now. I don't roll your eyes at me, man. A 70-year-old Spanish beekeeper, Ola, was not happy about being stopped by police. So what does one do when you're a beekeeper and you're transporting bees and the cops stop you?
Unleash the horde.
He did. Officers came to and then he let them loose. The officers had to run, and they took shelter inside a restaurant. Many of the officers, there were 2 of them, were stung, and he was pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt and driving erratically. It's probably because the bees were all flying around.
Yeah.
Here's actual audio.
Bees! Bees! Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! God, they're huge! They're ripping my flesh off!
Son, roll around. Do you hear me? Roll around on the ground.
Forget that! I'm starting to swell up! Save yourself! Don't be the hero!
Frank, allergic to bees? Me too.
They're huge and they sting crazy!
We'll come back later and check on you. Yeah, in a while.
Save yourself! Your firearms are useless against them!
Oh, boy. I miss him.
It sounded. Was that Farley?
Yeah, Chris Farley.
Yeah, Chris Farley.
He was a very funny man.
Yep.
Got a break here. We have to break. Man, we have news coming right up top of the hour. It is 8 o'clock at WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years.
President Trump is unhappy with Iran and Israel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, saying both sides violated the ceasefire agreement.
We basically have 2 countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the
they're doing.
The president telling reporters outside the White House before he took off for the NATO summit he's not happy that Iran fired missiles and...
I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it.
He called Israel's prime minister from Air Force One, then posted on Truth Social a short time ago, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home, adding the ceasefire is in effect. Now, before the president got involved again, this is what happened.
Israel says it was actually 2 rockets. An infuriated defense minister, Israel Katz, said the following: I've instructed the IDF to respond forcefully to Iran's violation of the ceasefire with high-intensity strikes of regime targets.
Now, Fox's Mike Tobin is in Beersheba, where an Iranian missile attack before the ceasefire took effect killed at least 4 Israelis. Back to the president. Days after the U.S. airstrikes he ordered hit 3 Iranian nuclear facilities, he also told reporters,
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished.
Likely referencing the Fordo site key to uranium enrichment in a program feared to be building weapons. That's expected to be a topic, along with Ukraine, at the gathering with other NATO leaders.
It's the first NATO summit of his second term, so he's going to arrive there tonight. That's really going to get going tomorrow. There is some positive news here on the defense spending side, because one of President Trump's goals going to The Hague was convincing allies to increase their defense spending to 5%, to make this a pledge among allies. And what we're hearing right now, that it appears that those member countries will be doing so, all of those members aside from Spain.
That's Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Capitol riot back in court. President Trump had controversially pardoned supporters convicted of taking part in the protest that interrupted President Biden's election certification. The latest case is in civil courts.
A federal jury awards $500,000 to the widow and estate of a police officer who killed himself 9 days after he helped defend the Capitol from a mob of Trump supporters, including a man who scuffled with the officer. The jury ordered that man, 69-year-old chiropractor David Walls Kaufman, to pay $380,000 in punitive damages and $60,000 in compensatory damages to Aaron Smith for assaulting her husband, Metropolitan Police Officer Jeffrey Smith. An additional $60,000 will go to the Smith estate. Walls Kaufman, who lived near the Capitol, denied assaulting the officer. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
Prosecutors may rest their case today against Sean Diddy Combs at his federal sex trafficking trial. Then it's the defense's turn, but that might take long in New York. Closing arguments are expected later this week. The Federal Reserve Chairman could have a tough time on Capitol Hill this morning.
Jerome Powell is set to appear before the House Financial Services Committee, where he could face questions about interest rates, the possibility of a recession in the future, and how the Iran conflict could impact the U.S. economy. President Trump has bashed Powell for weeks, recently calling him a numbskull over issues with Powell not lowering interest rates. Powell has cautioned against cutting interest rates as he believes inflation could increase in the near future because of the president's tariffs. President Trump has also floated the possibility of firing Powell as chairman of the Federal Reserve. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Ahead of that, oil prices keep dropping big, and stocks could rise. Dow futures up almost 300 points the day after surging up 374. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. 77 degrees under sunny skies. Your Weather Center forecast is coming up next. Folks in central New York are going to have to deal with yet another day of very hot temperatures. The National Weather Service says an extreme heat warning remains in place until 8 p.m. this evening. Yesterday, Syracuse hit a high of 94 degrees, breaking the old record of 92 degrees set in 1975. Temperatures are expected to reach similar levels today, and the heat index will make it feel even hotter. Cooling centers are set up in several communities, and the latest forecast can be found at noaa.gov. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave people or pets inside their vehicles. Authorities say heat builds up in vehicles and it can become lethal. On a 90-degree day, the interior of a car will raise to 109 degrees in 10 minutes and 124 degrees in 30 minutes. Authorities say if you see a parked car with an unattended person or pet inside, please call 911. A Utica man was arrested for allegedly fleeing police and trying to hide a loaded gun. According to Utica police, authorities were called to the 1300 block of Oneida Street for a physical domestic incident. Police say 24-year-old Almanzo Davis attempted to flee. He managed to escape after he was handcuffed but was captured again on Tracy Street. During the arrest, police found a loaded 9mm handgun with an extended magazine and say Davis attempted to discard it while running. Davis, who was previously convicted for having a high-capacity magazine, faces multiple charges including criminal possession of a weapon and resisting arrest. And researchers in Seattle have found a possible link between a gene mutation and sudden infant death syndrome. The Aaron Matthew SIDS Research Guild included researchers from Seattle Children's Research Institute and data scientists at Microsoft. They examined genes from 144 children who died sudden, unexplained deaths. The gene variant was also found in people who suffered sudden deaths for other reasons, including cardiac arrest. The gene variant doesn't mean a child will die from SIDS, only that they might be prone to a sudden death. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Heat continuing with a heat advisory in place. One more day here of the heat. That heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Air temperatures today with the sunshine, mid-90s, heat index close to 100. Relief coming tonight, maybe a shower, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, a few showers, maybe a thunder shower in the afternoon, 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 77 degrees under sunny skies. Let's take a look at sports. Broadcasting from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, the Pacers confirmed their worst-case scenario on Monday. An MRI revealed that star Tyrese Halliburton sustained a torn right Achilles tendon during Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The team did not announce a timeline for his return, but it's likely that he will miss the entire 2025-2026 season. The 25-year-old suffered a calf strain in Game 5, but insisted on playing through the injury. The first round of the NBA draft begins tomorrow night in Brooklyn. The Nets currently have the 8th, 19th, 26th, 27th, and 36th overall picks. The Knicks have the 50th overall pick, but nothing in the first round. The Mets dropped their series opener against the Braves, falling 3-2 in Queens. Paul Blackburn, he suffered the loss after allowing 3 runs on 6 hits and 3 walks. New York has lost 2 in a row and hopes to bounce back when it continues its 4-game set against Atlanta tonight. The Yankees were topped by the Reds 6-1 in their series opener from Cincinnati. Alan Winans was charged with the loss after allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. New York still leading the AL East. They continue its 3-game series against the Reds tonight. The owner of the Jets is diversifying his portfolio. Woody Johnson has agreed to buy a 43% stake in Premier League team Crystal Palace. The deal is worth $254 million and will have to receive approval from the Premier League by passing the fit and proper persons test. Johnson attempted to purchase Chelsea in the past, but failed to do so. And American Airlines is making it easier for Syracuse University football fans to see their team on the road this season. American added nonstop flights from Syracuse Hancock International Airport to South Bend, Indiana. The Orange are taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Notre Dame Stadium November 22nd, which is only a few days before Thanksgiving. Flights will go on sale this Sunday and can be purchased through the airline's website. Your WIBX news time is 8:10, 77 degrees under sunny skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Okay, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. The tornado hit on June 22nd.
Okay.
Is that right?
What? So it's Tuesday, right?
Today, I got to look at my calendar because it was the tornado hit at between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m. on Sunday,
Yes.
which was the 22nd. Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, because now I hate to put my nose into things.
Yeah,
but,
but okay.
There is a person that has set up a GoFundMe for one of the victims, and in the dissertation, in the summary, it says for the tornado that hit Oneida County on June 21st. It was not June 21st. It was June 22nd.
Right. Well,
So,
you get kind of confused in regards to the night.
You do. However, what you don't want is if you see a mistake like that in a GoFundMe, it makes you question it.
Mhm.
Like, is this authentic?
Right.
Or is somebody just trying to? Now, this is, so I'm sending the person a message saying that there's an error and that they should fix it. I hope they don't take it the wrong way.
Right.
Okay. Because here's what it says. We lost a dear friend, Shelley Johnson, on the morning of June 21st in the midst of the horrible tornado that hit Oneida County on June 21st.
Yep.
That should be changed.
Yes.
Because it does make people question
Right.
the authenticity of now. The fund is protected by GoFundMe. So it is authentic. And if it wasn't authentic, you'd get your money back. The thing that concerns me is there's a GoFundMe for, and there's a story up on our website about this, and you can check it out at WIBX950.com. It'll have the links to both GoFundMe pages. So help Kaylee Bisson honor her twins, and sadly, she is the mom who lost her two 6-year-old girls when the tree came down on their home. Terrible. Just awful. They have a goal of $380,000. They have already raised $286,000. Now I only bring this, which I'm giving to both of these, to both of them. So if you go to Shelley Johnson, she is the woman who was with her partner,
right?
And they were in bed when this went on. And she died. He did not.
Right.
And it's just how the tree land. It's terrible. The moment of inches and it's in both cases.
Exactly.
Horrific. Just terrible. Anyway, I mentioned in the one GoFundMe, $286,000 has been raised. In the other GoFundMe for Shelley Johnson, they've only raised $1,400, and
how much did they want for the?
They're asking for $9,000.
Was it for what?
To handle funeral services and other expenses. So I would say if people can take a look at both of them, and I hope that we, as a community, I understand you got two little girls that perished. They're 6 years old. It is a horrific story. And naturally, in our minds and our hearts, we're going to probably be more emotionally upset over the two children than we are
so much life to live
from an
and
adult.
whatever.
However, this is still a 50-year-old woman that lost her life,
right?
And the family has to deal with that, and so they're asking for a and you may be against donating to any of these, feeling that it's not. But for those who are, please consider Shelley Johnson's as well. There's a link on our website in the news story, the GoFundMe news story on our site at WIBX950.com.
How did they come up with the number for?
I don't know
for the kids.
I don't know.
Seems like a high number, but I don't know.
I don't know. Well, and you think about it.
You know what? Honestly, you wouldn't have to set the number because it's just the story is so.
And I think you have to. I think GoFundMe requires that you set a number.
Right.
So they said it, and they've already raised. One person here gave $10,000 to this.
Wow.
So it is an emotional, horrific, terrible, terrible story. And no money that is raised is ever going to bring these two little girls or the woman back.
Right.
And
I'll tell you that the mother probably is going to need some serious.
She was there in the room, and
help.
the man that was with Shelley Johnson was there
yeah.
in the. I mean, they're both horrible, horrible stories.
Yep.
So I just feel bad. I'm not. This is passing no judgment on any of it. I just feel bad for the one woman who's not. People are not necessarily paying attention to that one. So do what you want. I'm going to give to both of them sometime later today or tomorrow. So, okay, I got a break. Coming up, we've talked about Bill and Robin Monjo and their expansion to the Florida Gulf Coast, where you think we're kind of enjoying some of that Florida heat right now.
Yes.
Here. And we'll speak with Bill and Robin from River Hills Properties coming up in a second. I'll take your comments and all of that. Stand by. Coming right back at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and servicing Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
This station is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more info.
Why do people shop at Mattress Express? Our guaranteed lowest price program. Bring in any locally advertised price on a mattress we carry, will beat the price. If within 90 days of purchase you see it advertised for less locally, bring it to our attention. We will refund the difference.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hi, I'm Jim Bono, your guide to all things summer happening right here in Herkimer County. From scenic views in our beautiful Adirondacks to family fun, outdoor adventures, and the many festivals lighting up our towns and villages. There's something for everyone. Visit Herkimer County online at herkimercountyny.gov/events for a complete listing of summer happenings.
Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide. It's all happening here this season. Visit Herkimer County online and make your spring and summer unforgettable.
Hi, this is Ted Cruz. Join Ben Ferguson and me each weekend for Verdict. We take you behind the scenes for the ultimate insider show. We will bring you the latest news and commentary on everything that's going on in Washington, D.C. with the most up-to-date news and reaction. Your ultimate D.C. insider's guide. Tune in to Verdict with Ted Cruz each and every week with Ben Ferguson.
Airing Sundays at 8 a.m.
Verdict with Ted Cruz. Same time, same channel.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh, yeah. GPO Federal Credit Union is here to help you plant the seeds for a stronger financial future. Thinking about buying your first car, buying another car, know someone who's buying that first car or buying that first home. GPO can help all the way around. If you're looking to upgrade or downsize, home lending team ready to go. They want to help you also build credit and your savings, and they can help you there as well. It's not just about all of your banking needs. It's more about your financial freedom. At GPO Federal Credit Union this month, GPO is offering free credit reviews at all branch locations. No appointment needed. Stop in and get real guidance on how to build or repair your credit. At GPO, they're not just talking about accounts and rates. It's about helping you grow. The commitment, it's all there at GPO. Federally insured by NCUA membership. Eligibility required. See the branch or their website, gpofcu.com, for full details. And if you're struggling with pain, Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Dalmedico can help. Neck pain and back pain, knees, wrists, arthritis, shoulders, and more. What can Softwave do for you? And it is quite interesting how it's basically would you call it a tapping?
Yeah.
It's like
I haven't had it done, but
but you know someone.
I know someone
that is just going through it.
Yes.
And there is you'll feel a little bit of, and that's when you know it's hitting the right spot, is what I say. It's not terrible,
right?
But you're going to feel a little ping. You're going to feel it, and that's when you know it's hitting the spot, and it sends the stem cells and the blood all to that area, and it's your body now repairing the injury.
The results are worth it.
The results are worth it, and it is, by the way, the same technology used to break up a gallstone or a kidney stone.
Yep.
Obviously, it's a different intensity that is used. But it works. Revive Softwave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Dalmedico. 315-725-8427 is the number to call. And I think I've got them both in the picture on YouTube, but I do. Bill and Robin Monjo, tight on the microphones if you can pull them nice, and that includes... Oh, you're not speaking? All right.
She'll speak.
I'll interject.
She has her hand behind him. He's the puppet.
That's right.
He's the puppet.
Right.
Tim Reed. Tim is our guest host today.
Yes, lovely.
Tim,
nice
the Monjos.
Yes.
Okay, we wanted to talk about not only what's going on here,
yes, sir,
but down there, as you've expanded. I can tell by the tan.
Yes,
you guys have expanded into a really beautiful part of Florida.
True. We have been blessed. Our business has grown so handsomely here that we've extended it down to the southwestern coast of Florida. And we're based in Sarasota. We have agents that are training for Tampa, for the lovely Fort Myers area, and Naples. So we are going to take care of that area. And we're hopeful that we can help people up here that are looking to relocate to Florida that don't know anyone to deal with down there. And so we're very pleased about that. Of course, we have Andrew there, and Andrew is doing a phenomenal job already. He is he's Andrew, and he's doing phenomenal.
Andrew.
He's Andrew, and he's on fire, and that's what he is.
Yeah, but he's wearing his shoes already with no socks like Miami Vice.
Of course,
he's Miami Vice. That's
he's
it.
Miami Vice guy now.
Of course. So it's funny when Andrew's always moving.
Absolutely.
And, so he's handling more of the Fort Myers area.
Fort Myers,
Punta Gorda.
Punta Gorda, and he's really focused a lot on Babcock Ranch, which is, it's hard for us to imagine in the Mohawk Valley. They are building out this development. In the next 5 years, they'll have 60,000 people living in Babcock Ranch. From nothing, starting out from absolutely zero, ground zero to 60,000 people.
Wow.
And magnificently done and beautiful homes. And Andrew has got, new homes, and he's got, homes that are already built that he's working with right now. So it's going very well for him. So we're very excited about that.
And then you guys, your office is more in the Sarasota region.
We're doing the Sarasota thing.
Okay. And I have to tell you, up here, the biggest problem that is being addressed, because you have Micron and now the announcement of Chobani.
Yes, fabulous.
And the housing issue is the goal right now is to add housing. So you're going to see that here with some reinvented ideas maybe from down there used up here. And I think that's something that has to be done.
Robin, it's a real patron saint of getting new bills here, so please, darling.
Yeah, not McMansions. I mean, homes for regular people that they can afford. That's what we desperately need.
Right.
We haven't built for decades, and it's coming back to haunt us.
When's the last neighborhood that you saw for regular people? It's North Utica, 1961.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean.
So I see on Clinton Road they're building those condos. And they built them, and they filled up.
Yep.
Right.
And now they're building, I didn't think they'd be able to, and I'm not sure it was part of the plan, but now they're building a whole new row of homes because stuff gets on the market here and it's selling.
Yes. The Mohawk Valley, we have prosperity.
Yeah.
There's no clunker cars running around. I mean, people live in homes. Here's a great factoid that maybe you haven't heard yet. The high price house in North Utica. Now, let's be honest. 10 years ago, there were foreclosures in North Utica. All right. The high-price home just sold 2 months ago, $400,000 in North Utica.
Wow.
That's a record, folks.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful news. That's wonderful news for the city of Utica, North Utica, for the whole area. All the ships are rising with the tide. You mentioned about Chobani. That is a marvelous thing. And I love saying that for every single set of boots that get hardwired into a job, 1.5 people have to come in to associate to work for them. A half of a school teacher, a trash person.
Right.
It just goes on and on and on, which is phenomenal.
The dark side of real estate.
The dark side of real estate, which is something...
You mentioned that.
I did.
It didn't just come out of my
That's right.
thin-aired brain here, but...
So we a little walk through memory lane here. We've been with Bill and the Keeler Show for a long time now, and he has been kind enough to champion our no lockbox situation, where we're there for every single visit. It's old news for your readership, but it's now become even more important. One of the things that we do is we're their advocates for the home. What people are not realizing is, I'm going to ask you, I'll make it rhetorical for your viewers. How come when you go on Zillow and Trulia and Homes.com, they throw up all this wonderful information about houses in the area and you don't have to pay for that? How come this wonderful service is out there and you get all this information and it's live time? It's up there immediately.
Yeah.
Why is that? Do you have a guess?
So they can get in your house? What
that's
is
a
it?
that's a good reason to have the lockboxes.
They know the codes.
Okay, but here's the deal. Agents pay for those ads for you to be able to get that online. When I say we, the industry as a whole buys zip codes. So right now in Utica, in Clinton, and everywhere around here, the zip codes are for sale, and you call up Zillow as an agent and say, I'd like to buy this zip code. Well, they have algorithms, and they say, well, you're going to get 33 calls from that zip code. So here's the rub with this, though. The people are pushing the button saying, I want more information. They think they're talking to the listing agent. They're talking to the person that's buying the ads that know nothing about the property. They have no clue about it, and they are desperately hoping to get someone to click on them so that they may get a hit. We have found this out by being at the homes, and we're meeting the agents, meeting their clients out in front of their cars for the first time, which is a terrible way to do business.
Right.
They're on a blind date.
Right.
They're on a blind date. They don't know the people, and they don't know the house. The information that they're giving them are the exact same information you can get online yourself as a client.
Right.
At Zillow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's nothing new there. So, even more so, who's protecting the house? Who's watching everything? Who's making sure that all the good parts of the home are spoken about?
Building value.
Building value. So that's the dark side of this. It all really ramped up with COVID because everybody wanted to do hands off, and it just opened the doors. Well, now it's absolutely across the board. And everybody with algorithms are all selling leads online. If you go on TikTok, you go on YouTube, leads for sale. Where do they get those leads?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're selling a house, can you just sell it yourself and list it on Zillow?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yes. So
but that is a problem because you don't have someone. Now you're on your own. You're all on your own.
You're all on your own, and that's a recipe for failure.
We think that's a recipe for failure and disaster.
Yeah.
But what is a business or a profession that is really built on relationships started with COVID just disintegrating because now it is so impersonal, so digital, and the real estate agents have really put their arms around it because it allows them time to do whatever. But, we go the other way as far as service. I mean, we embrace it. This is a relationship business, and people pay a lot of money for a realtor. You better step up and give them the service that they deserve.
Another thing, and we tell all our agents, and we reinforce this every single day, that I can't talk you into buying a home. They can't talk you into buying a home. What people are doing, we sell ourselves. It's the person. If you think it's just the company or a brand that should be selling your home, don't do that. Invest in the person. Interview people. Talk. Right. Would you do that with your doctor? Would you do that with your dentist?
Right.
You'd interview a couple.
They are your advocates.
They're your advocates. Pick the right one. You're paying someone a great deal of money to sell your home.
Right.
Pick and choose.
Right.
Pick and choose. Now, since you mentioned it's a tight market, I do want to say that
it is when something goes up for sale here, it sells so quickly.
It does.
It is. We've really up until the last 4 or 5 years, we haven't experienced that.
Okay, so one of the blessings of being involved with the Keeler Show that we got to meet the Prince of Lee Boulevard. And the Prince of Lee Boulevard and his lovely wife, Christine, are out there, and I know they're listening to you because they are listeners to this show.
Love that.
And they have been kind enough to introduce us to one of their neighbors, Jack and Valerie, and we are listing their house on Lee Boulevard today. So we're giving your clients the absolute inside scoop on the next house that's going up in North Utica. It's a lovely home, and it's listing for
$219, I believe.
On Lee Boulevard.
On Lee Boulevard.
Listen, these things go quickly.
This will be fast. Hopefully, it's be sold by this evening.
Yeah.
But you are all part of the Keeler family. You get to hear about it first.
I love that.
But that speaks a lot to word of mouth advertising, right?
Absolutely.
You can have as many of those out there, whatever it is, but if it's your neighbor, whatever, somebody you trust, it's all about trust, really, at the end of the day.
Absolutely, it is.
That is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so honored that your clientele, your family and friends have come to us and continue to come to us, and we're honored. And please, if you're thinking about selling your home, please give us a call. We would love to chat with you.
We love the opportunity.
I'm wondering what is going to happen to the market when we build. We're going to need to build because there are going to be people who are literally moving here to this area to take on these
Absolutely.
jobs. So when we add these new houses, it is interesting that a younger worker today, a younger family, is looking for something different than we used to look for. Like the picket fence isn't isn't necessarily the answer anymore.
They don't have the time to do any home renovations. Their perception is different. We would embrace it, 30, 40 years ago and think of how we can improve our investment. But today, there's such busy lives. That's why homes that are completely done, right, cosmetically, sell at a premium with most likely multiple offers.
Yeah. Versus the fixer-upper, which is...
versus the fixer-upper.
Money pit.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want people to walk away with other than go look at the place in North Utica?
Other than that, we welcome calls. We're in Florida, and if you want a familiar face, you know how we do business, and we'd love to help you either attain your second home or perhaps find a new landing place. It's a beautiful area.
All right.
But we're never leaving here, just so you know that. You'll never get rid of us.
You're here, and
we're here.
We
go back and forth. Yeah. We're fortunate, but we love the Mohawk Valley.
You've been there because I see the tan, so I'm just saying.
Just saying.
It's a hot sun. It's hotter. It's a hotter
Thanks
sun.
for having us today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Quick break. We'll do news coming right up at WIBX.
Wait, I only owe $8? There has to be a catch.
I'm Jen Kita, CEO of Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. That was a real reaction from a recent customer who got $3,000 worth of insulation upgrades through the New York State Comfort Home Program for just $8. And there's no catch. At Standard, we find the best solutions for your home, every possible rebate, and make it fast, simple, and easy. Many rebates aren't income-based. They're based on what your home needs. Start with your free home assessment at standardco.com.
All right, Tim, time for the Father's Day quiz. Are you ready?
Yes, Bill Keeler, I'm ready.
All right, name 3 things you can do for your family on Father's Day. Ready, go.
Wear the ugly tie to dinner.
Wrong.
Tell them I love the zebra striped boxers.
Wrong. Last chance. Here we go.
Actually, listen to my doctor and get tested for cancer so that I can be around next year.
That's the answer we're looking for. Plan to be here for Father's Day next year. Real men get tested for cancer.
It's AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at ameriq.org/high-rate.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. Due to the high temperatures being forecast, central New York is going to be under an extreme heat warning today. The National Weather Service says the advisory will be in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Temperatures are expected to be in the mid to high 90s with a heat index of 100 degrees or even higher in a few communities. People are reminded to stay inside when possible, understand the signs of heat stroke, and make sure to keep hydrated. The American Red Cross is also opening 2 shelters for those still without power and in need of cooling at St. Joseph's Church in Lee Center and at the Canastota VFW. Both sites are open 24/7. National Grid has restored power to roughly 90% of customers who lost it during Sunday's storms. About 2,500 workers, some of whom came from as far as Louisiana and Canada, are working around the clock to finish restoring power amid the heat wave. As of their latest update, about 7,500 customers of the over 100,000 people who lost power are still in the dark. The company expects to restore power by 11:30 tonight. National Grid said Sunday's storm broke 120 poles, which is a labor-intensive repair job. The company is distributing bottled water and dry ice at the Clark Mills Volunteer Fire Department and at 207 North James Street in Rome until 4 p.m. today. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave people or pets inside their vehicles. Authorities say heat builds up in vehicles and it can be lethal. On a 90-degree day, the interior of a car will raise to 109 degrees in 10 minutes and 124 degrees in 30 minutes. Authorities say if you see a parked car with an unattended person or pet inside, please call 911. And a study from San Diego State University says that eating 4 strawberries a day could improve your cognitive skills. Tammy Trujillo has details.
The study followed 35 men and women in their 70s and found that eating 26 grams of freeze-dried strawberry powder made from fresh berries every day for 8 weeks led to better performance on cognitive tests. Researchers said the strawberries also helped lower blood pressure and increase disease-fighting antioxidants in the blood. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Heat continuing with a heat advisory in place. One more day here of the heat. That heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock this evening. Air temperatures today with the sunshine, mid-90s, heat index close to 100. Relief coming tonight, maybe a shower, 70 degrees. Tomorrow, a few showers, maybe a thunder shower in the afternoon, 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajek, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, yesterday I had said right about this time, around 8:30 yesterday, said, I think by the time we leave, we'll have hit 80 degrees. I can guarantee that now. It is 80 and sunny right now. It's going to be a warm one, as everybody
8:40
has predicted. 80 degrees at 8:40 in the morning. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients. If you need a family doctor or you're having an issue and you need a second opinion, call them today. Have you been tested for hepatitis C? This is prevalent in baby boomers. You could have fatigue, aches and pains. You're just thinking you're getting older, and you could have hepatitis C. It is completely curable. But you have to know you have it.
Yes.
And Dr. Shemileski is Hep C certified. Call today, 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
On a bench of all places.
Of all places.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 80 degrees right now with plenty of sunshine and plenty of heat. So enjoy it while you can. It's going to cool off into the 70s for the next couple of days after tomorrow night. And we may get a little bit of rain. The weekend looks maybe like half and half, if you will.
People should just remember, if they complain about the heat,
don't complain. Yeah.
Remember January,
May,
February,
May,
March, April, May. Yeah.
Remember the first part of June?
Yeah. You can only complain about one thing: the heat or the cold. You can't have both.
Yeah. Enough of the complaining.
Yep.
Despite a repudiation at the polls, progressives still continue the war against law enforcement. A new get-out-of-jail-free card for criminals is about to become the thing in New York. And former NYPD commander, Lieutenant Commander Joe Cardinale on the line right now. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning, my friends. How are you today?
Good to hear from you. Let's see, I had a comment earlier, someone very upset with, and she calls the Governor Hot Mess. Governor Hot Mess giving illegals $50 million for legal fees while people in our area are trying to get financial help after their homes were hit by a tornado. We had 3 fatalities here, by the way. It was a very difficult weekend because of a tornado. But listen, what's next? What's coming next? What is this?
You know, this is just another layer of stupidity added on to law enforcement, and it undermines our criminal justice system. It really does. It takes away the element of stopping a traffic stop for bona fide issues like a expired registration or inspection sticker or a taillight out or a broken tail lens. Now, it doesn't mean that the cops are going to give you a summons.
Right.
It means that they're just going to stop you. A lot of times they'll say, sir, ma'am, whatever, you know, we're stopping you because you have a taillight out, and it's usually, can you get that, you know, we'll get a fixed, officer. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And it's mostly for their safety and everybody else's safety.
Sure.
But when it escalates to, you know, your gut instinct stopping the car because of erratic behavior, especially when you have crimes like jugging that have come back, all right, and you're out there and you have a description of a car and you see a car acting in a erratic manner and everything, you have the right to pull them over. And further your investigation, you find out there's weapons and these are people wanted for other crimes. This is going to stymie that, because even if the cops do it and they stop them and they come up with the guns or whatever, the city council in New York City and whoever else puts this out in Minnesota are telling them, even if you get this and you get evidence from it, we're going to throw it out in court. So the fruits of your hard labor are going to go by the wayside.
So believe me, I've always felt that the taillight out, the headlight out, any of that stuff is always a great way to pull somebody over to see if maybe in the middle of the night they're drinking or whatever. I think it's just been something that happens. First of all, you shouldn't be drinking and driving or any other form of criminality. So are you saying that this is just in the New York City area?
Well, I think they're going to try to push it across New York State, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to be too successful. I think the problem is, and we deal with the state troopers, and, you know, they have their hands tied because they have to deal with the cesspool of ignorance that's up in Albany right now. It's to the point where, you know, anything goes to get votes, all right? And like you mentioned, the progressives are doing this. It's not common sense people that are out there, and not somebody, you know, wants the broken windows theory or anything like that. Right. It's just a quality of life issue that it starts at such a minute level, but if they're attacking such a minute level, they're taking it further to protect certain groups of criminals, and that's it. And it's always about somebody else other than the taxpayers of New York State.
I must feel like they're the criminals. They're trying to protect themselves. It's like, do you know why I stopped you? Yeah. And my answer is always to compliment my driving. That doesn't go over well, by the way, Joe. You know, some of this stuff is nuts. I don't understand it, Tim.
You know, Joe, traffic stops by their very nature are incredibly difficult and dangerous. And now you just add this further hurdle on it to make the life for the police that much harder. I mean, I don't get it.
I don't get it either, and you're right, because car stops and domestic violence are two of the top killers of police officers across the country. Yeah. So it's not like police officers want to put themselves in harm's way. It's just their way of proactively protecting the public, you know, and it is a good proactive approach to, like I said, quality of life. Well, just simply saying, you know, sir, ma'am, this is, you know, you have a taillight out or your registration's expired. And also it addresses other issues like the phony white paper tags you see that they can print out on a computer, you know, and that's usually done in a furtherance of a crime. because, you know, a lot of cops say, oh, look, it's a temporary, they just bought the car. It's not that. It's not that. And they're phony plates or something. So it gives the police officer the right to stop you and find out what's going on with that car, which could lead to other things. But you know what? It's just, this is New York State right now, and I just can't wait for the comedy of errors to be over today in the city for the land of the misfit.
Well, who do you think is going to take the be the top vote getter today? Do you think?
Well, I really think Cuomo is going to pull this thing off. You know what? It's a shame because you're looking at the lesser of all the evils, and that would be him. That would be him because Mondami is a complete idiot, all right? And he's the one that is so extreme that nobody should really, but AOC endorses him, so there you go. That, you know, there's another one there. And then you have Weiner running again. He wants to run for city council now, you know? So like I said, it's where
my Lord,
land of the misfit politicians
I think,
come back to resurrect their careers.
I think what you've created is a really good reality TV show. This would be quite interesting. I gotta say, I never was necessarily a Cuomo fan. However, there were times in the beginning of his administration, Cuomo, in terms of policy, was more like a moderate Republican than he was a Democrat. And then midway through, I don't know, to get reelected, he saw the tides were I don't know what was going on, but he went way to the left about midway through his administration. But to think that he probably would be the lesser of all the evils there is probably a fair description, I think.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, you're correct, and I'm glad you brought that up, because at one time he did want a Republican-controlled Senate, so he could have that balance up there.
Yes.
You're right. But he went so far to the left that even by the appointing of his corrupt parole board, all right, which has now released, I believe, 44 cop killers, all right, and they just keep going and going on this insanity of releasing, you know, dangerous people back on the streets. And sometimes, you know, people do deserve parole, but, you know, not to the extent of what they're doing right now. But Hochul is just a continuance of those policies.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with we spoke about this many times about the bail reform, all right, which still has not been even addressed minutely to what it should be, to correcting it by giving judges the power that they need and putting the onus on them to make the decisions, you know, or even moving the crimes where you don't need enough fentanyl to kill enough people in Giant Stadium 2 times over to hold them on bail. It's ridiculous. And these policies have to be addressed. And I believe in the midterm elections, when it is the governor's race, I believe we're going to see a change, because we desperately need it. Because if he gets in and continues that leftist view, it's going to be squeezed from Albany down to the city. It's going to squeeze everybody in the middle, and that's why you got to pray for everybody else to see the light.
If he was smart, Cuomo would get in, become elected governor or elected mayor of New York, and would clean up the city, and he could be a Rudy Giuliani. But I feel like the far left has such the majority that if you want to get reelected, you got to play to them. And that's probably where it's going.
And you know what? You're 100% right, and I agree with you. He could be, you know, the furtherance of a Giuliani administration and clean it up and give the cops their qualified indemnification back, you know, and fight the city council. But let me tell you, they're so extreme on this city council, it's ridiculous, you know? And who knows? Weiner's going to run. Maybe he'll turn around and fight them on the city council and say, you know, give these guys what they need. But you know what? When that party is dominated by ignorance, all right, then you have to cater to the ignorance as well. Otherwise, you just do not get elected.
So I want to ask you one final question before we let you go, and that is everything going on right now overseas, and even the threat from Iran to awake their sleeper cells. You know, some of that has to be in New York City. I know New York is on a heightened alert. It's certainly close to us. Your thoughts on the dangers of terrorism right now in New York and other major cities?
Well, that's another very, very important topic that you're bringing up. And I have to tell you, after being a responder to 9/11, I do not want to see a repeat of this. I'm just hoping we have our ears to the ground right now, listening to every bit of chatter that's going on, because my fear is not only the sleeper cells, my fear is somebody like Yemen or Pakistan will use the opportunity and blame it on Iran and do something. We've had that in the past as well. But, the other thing of stopping us, Congress and everybody in the, in a previous administration, stopping them from listening to some of these conversations is troublesome to me. So hopefully that was reinstituted and we do have our ears to the ground. But you're right, we should be on heightened alert right now. But you want to know something? It's better than dealing with the threat of a nuclear power that should not be anymore. So I agree with them wholeheartedly on that.
Very interesting stuff. Joe Cardinale, thank you as always. We appreciate your insight.
Anytime, my friends. You take care.
Thank you.
Job, Joe.
Joe Cardinale, former Lieutenant Cardinal. Commander. He was never a cardinal. No. Although,
he could have been.
Could have been. He's, good Catholic right there.
This whole thing with Cuomo, if you had said a year ago that he would be the leading candidate to be New York City mayor, don't ever say never, because all things are possible in life.
You can never say never, right?
Never.
And I think we've all learned that. I certainly have.
Same thing with the president.
No doubt. I mean, listen, never say never.
Yep.
But in this case, Cuomo coming back, Cuomo has a lot of. It's funny. He'll criticize Trump, but there are a lot of similarities.
Oh, they're just.
To say Cuomo is not a narcissist, come on. Please. Steve Pawnee, Mazda, in the Move to Mazda sales event is back. Save on a new Mazda lease. Enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, 50s, 70s, and CX-90s. See the dealership for details. Mazda finished 2024 with a 16.8% sales increase year over year. And they were awarded more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. As Rick says, come in and let's make your deal on a Steve Pawnee Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Also want to tell you the official coffee of this radio program, Daylight Donuts, going to be very hot. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford has a speedy drive-through, and their iced coffee, supersize, a 32-ounce supersized double X iced coffee for you today. And you can take advantage of it. Try their pistachio lattes, pistachio muffins, and even a double X 32-ounce supersized pistachio iced coffee. You can get it at Daylight Donuts. And if you're looking for things to do, anything from Herkimer Diamonds or heading into Old Forge for the beauty of Old Forge this weekend, it's Herkimer County, and go to herkimercountyny.gov for all of the details. Explore what Herkimer County has to offer. It is happening in Herkimer County, where history, commerce, and beauty collide.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
The 4th of July sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 with the largest selection in central New York. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans. Hurry.
At the Naimi Auto Group, we believe in honest pricing, quality car care, and a team that treats you with respect, no matter what you drive. In Hamilton, we know what really matters. Family, friends, and trucks that don't know the word quit. At Den Kelly Chevy GMC, we've been your neighbor for years. Same store, new story. New or used, Chevy or GMC, we deliver strength backed by genuine integrity, heartfelt compassion, and a work ethic that stood the test of time. Den Kelly Chevy GMC, Matt Naimi GMC, Naimi's New Generation Cars. 3 hometown stores, Miscellaneous. One name you can trust.
Hey, I want to just a couple of programming notes. Thank you, Tim, by the way, today. Tomorrow morning, Mayor Mike Galimi and Councilperson Katie Aiello at 7 a.m. It's tomorrow morning. We have news next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
They don't know what they're doing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump said this morning with an F-bomb thrown in, talking to reporters before taking off for the NATO summit, upset about ceasefire violations.
I'm not happy with Iran either, but I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land.
Israel says it was 2 missiles Iran fired that were shot down, and then it vowed to retaliate.
Following up on social media, President Trump warned Israel dropping more bombs is a major violation, writing, "Bring your pilots home now."
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. One other Trump post came after the president talked to Israel's prime minister on Air Force One, writing Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around. Iran also launched missiles before the ceasefire took effect.
One of them got through the defenses and hit here in the town of Beersheba.
Fox's Mike Tobin outside a building with a big crater in it.
That is the precise area of impact. There was a family of 4 that went into the bomb shelter. These bomb shelters do a good job of protecting people in the blast radius, not when they take a direct impact like that. That family was killed.
Now, the president has also been talking to reporters on the flight to the Netherlands that he doesn't want regime change in Iran, saying that'd be chaos. He insists the U.S. airstrikes that hit Iran's nuclear facilities over the weekend badly damaged their program, feared to be building weapons. As for the NATO summit, Fox's Jonathan Savage reports from The Hague the Russia-Ukraine war will be a topic.
President Zelensky gets a meeting with the alliance's Secretary General today. Mark Rutte announced yesterday that European countries had pledged $35 billion to Ukraine's defense this year, up from $20 billion. But the Ukrainian president won't be at the leaders' meeting tomorrow. He's hoping to meet President Trump on the sidelines.
Well, the president also just said on Air Force One he might meet with Zelensky. And while he heads overseas, his intelligence leaders will give members of Congress classified briefings today on the Iran-Israel conflict. America's listening to Fox News.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 9:03. I'm Megan Stone with your news update. Over 140 million Americans are going to be under the highest level of extreme heat alerts today. The National Weather Service says major to extreme heat risk will spread into the Midwest and East Coast, where anyone without effective cooling and or adequate hydration will be affected. They also warn there will be little to no overnight relief. They're calling it the first significant heat wave this season, with high temperatures in the mid to upper 90s and possibly hitting the triple digits, especially in the central United States. Utica police have made an arrest linked to the murder of Omar Mitchell. In April, the 33-year-old victim was killed on Walker Street, and Utica police were able to quickly identify the suspect. The suspect, 32-year-old Darius Stewart of Illinois, was indicted on second-degree murder by a grand jury. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office assumed the case, and working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force and UPD, authorities located Stewart in Springfield, Illinois. He was arrested Monday and taken to Oneida County Jail, where he's being held. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office is warning residents not to leave people or pets inside their vehicles. Authorities say heat builds up in vehicles and it can become lethal. On a 90-degree day, the interior of a car will raise to 109 degrees in 10 minutes and 124 degrees in 30 minutes. Authorities say if you see a parked car with an unattended person or pet inside, please call 911. And a study from San Diego State University says that eating 4 strawberries a day could improve your cognitive skills. The study followed 35 men and women into their 70s and found that eating 26 grams of freeze-dried strawberry powder made from fresh berries every day for 8 weeks led to better performance on cognitive tests. Researchers said the strawberries also helped lower blood pressure and increased disease-fighting antioxidants in the blood. Study participants also noted waist weight loss of 1%. Here's your Weather Center forecast. We are under a heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight. Sunny and hot today with highs around 95 degrees. The feels like temperature could feel closer to 100. Partly cloudy tonight with a slight chance of rain, low 70. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
It's Amerique Credit Union's 75th anniversary, and our high-rate checking account has an unprecedented rate worth celebrating. Get started at amerique.org/high-rate.
Stand Up to Cancer asked leading cancer researchers to speak about why they do their work.
2 words come to mind for me. One is responsibility, the other is purpose.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please, help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
WIBX